Hi, I'm Greg from RVHaulers. I'm in Virginia. I'm sitting in the kitchen of Ed and Teresa, who are going to be going full-timing shortly. We've delivered their RV hauler named Remington. Very stately, metallic silver, chosen by Teresa. First, I want to share with you the really cool things they're planning to do. Let me turn the camera around. Well, what have we been doing for the last 2-3 days? Tell everyone.
Playing with the truck. Motor.
Driving the truck.
Driving the truck.
Going to the DMV.
Twice.
How did that go, in your opinion, Ed?
In my opinion, that went a heck of a lot easier than I expected it to. We went and titled it as attempted to title it as a motorhome. Gave them all the paperwork. They said, it's getting late, we'll have to send you the title. 2 days later, they called up and says, we need to see the import papers.
Mm-hmm.
We brought the import papers in there, they made copies, sent me out with the title. So
As a motorhome.
We're now proud owners of a motorhome in the state of Virginia.
What have we been doing, Teresa? We left Ed behind to work on your trailer for a while, and
Yep, we went out driving. So I did a little bit of driving when we went to Hutchinson's last year. Was able to drive a Volvo, get a feel for it. Realized even though it's a huge truck, it doesn't drive and feel like a really huge truck. So that kind of turned me around from, okay, I want a 450 or 550 to actually considering the Volvo 780, 670, one of the two of them. So Greg arrived, I showed up, and we spent the day going out driving. Went across a bridge, through a tunnel, through a downtown area with tiny little skinny roads.
and garbage cans.
And garbage
In the
cans in the
road.
middle of the road, and overhanging
Downtown Newport
trees.
Yeah.
So, yep. Then on to 664 through the tunnel, which is one of those things that was kind of concerning me because I drive through tunnels every day and I drive through with semi trucks driving beside me, and I kind of go watch that they're that far from the ceiling. And it's like thinking, there's no way I can do that. But I did, kept my eyes open. That was good. Made it through the tunnel, didn't even feel that bad driving through the tunnel. I felt like I had plenty of room, so that was good. Came back home. Got to learn about the regen process. So,
All right. Yeah.
yep. So we got to go through that process and drove the truck till it cleared itself out and came home. And had some lunch, hooked up the trailer. I've never towed with a trailer before, so this was a challenge. We went through the neighborhood. Greg was really good at teaching me how to go around curves and turns. Worked our way back through a different neighborhood and found myself in some really tight spots, trying to make some really tight turns and trying not to drive too much through the neighbors' lawns. So got to be able to do a straight backup. I'm not quite sure how far we backed up.
Oh, how far was that? That was a long ways you backed
That
up
was
straight.
3 or 4 times the length of the truck, so it was easy 100 feet.
So did a straight backup.
Wait,
Oh, it was way further than
it
that.
was way further than that, because we had a trailer on it. So it was 30 plus 25 foot, it must have been 150 foot.
And you did it entirely with no spotters and only your mirrors.
Only my mirrors.
And
So, yep.
that was a high five moment.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I was kind of impressed with myself that I was able to back up without going totally way off the road or someplace else. Or
That was cool.
so then we backed up, and then it got to the point where we didn't know which way we were going because we were in a neighborhood we weren't familiar with, even though we'd ridden bicycles and driven back there before. But when you have something that big, it makes a whole bunch of different considerations as to where you're going and what you're doing. So then I was able to back up
But we
again.
did get into a narrow road, dead end, and you backed down.
And I backed out. And then we decided we were going to go the complete opposite direction. So then I got to back into a road and go the opposite direction. So that I had Ed and Greg help spot because there were cars coming up.
That was narrow too.
That wasn't enough.
Yep. So
It's tight.
that was pretty good too. I was like, yay.
So how does Remington feel? to you?
Very comfortable to drive. So I like the little bouncy seats, and I didn't feel like I was tense. And you get to the point now. I did tell Ed it was sort of like you get used to turning a lot. It's a bigger wheel, so it's sort of like, okay, got a muscle workout from driving yesterday. But
If I do say so, I think you back up that better than you do my pickup.
yay.
You said you're going to have a challenge, though. Getting the keys from Ed.
Oh yes.
You're
yes,
going to have to
yes.
fight him for driving rights?
Yeah, the majority of the time we've been married, we go traveling someplace and Ed drives. I sit in the passenger seat and I either navigate. Garmin's great because now I can read my book and I don't have to navigate as well. I just keep an eye on where it is that we're going. So, because he's a horrible passenger. So he's like,
We've been towing campers for probably 30 years. You've towed it once.
yeah, I pop up like 20 years ago, I could pull it straight. That was it.
How do you feel? You're going to be ready to pull your New Horizons?
Yeah, I'll be ready. But
Awesome.
so I know it'll be bigger than what I have now, but we'll drive this with the trailer, so I'll get used to driving it when we go to Kansas next week or this weekend.
Yeah.
So
2 days.
2 days. So I expect to drive at least half the time.
Awesome. Good. So are you happy with the way Remington looks?
Oh, I am.
Right? You picked the color.
I picked
We
the
did
color and
full
it
body
turned
paint.
out awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like I said, when you sent me the pictures of Remington after he came back from the paint shop, they're on my desktop at work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like people come by and like, look at my truck. So I have a couple of them that are really jealous because when they heard that I was going to leave work and go full timing and they were going to be driving a big rig, they all thought the motorhome. And then I said, no, it's a fifth wheel. So then they thought the littler truck. And then when they saw the big truck and they're like,
It is a motorhome.
great.
All right.
It is a motorhome.
It is a motorhome.
It just has a 40-foot fifth wheel attached to the back of it as well.
It's true. So I have another friend one of the girls at work was sort of like, yeah, my husband and I, we've been talking about that for many years. So you're going to have to let us know what it is that you're doing because we want to do this too. So
Ed, how does Remington drive? You're an engineer.
Oh, man.
You're concerned with mechanics and soundness and safety.
It's nice. It drives a little rough bobtailing.
Yeah.
And I expect that to be real smooth and easy once we get a little weight behind it. So it accelerates nice. It skips a lot of gears when it doesn't have all the weight behind it. So, very nice. Very good control.
So
Take
what do
the engine brake off. It's just a little. It's more than you need when you're all by yourself.
What are you guys doing? What's the plans now?
plans are, okay, so next week we're actually going out to Hutchinson. Not Hutchinson, we're going to go to New Horizons and finalize all of our plans for our new fifth wheel with them. Hopefully we'll get delivery January, February, that's where we're looking. Then we'll go to the HDT rally for a couple of days. And then we're going to head back home because we've decided that we want to get our CDL license. Make me feel a lot more comfortable driving a bigger rig if
Just for the
Bible
practice. Formal training.
practice, right?
So it's not required here in Virginia.
It is not
No,
required.
it's not required. But to be perfectly honest, that's not what the first thing that made us think about CDLs. We went out to Alaska and we took a Denali trip up the mountain and we got talking to the driver, and the driver was a seasonal worker who was there just for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
She had her CDL because she was a bus driver from Pennsylvania. And she was just doing that for the summer and it was paying for her trip. It was like, what an awesome thing that would be to do, to spend the summer in some of these awesome places, running a tour bus up and down these mountains where you can't see what you want to see in 1 or 2 days, but if you spend the summer there, see it all. You gotta have a CDL to do that.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll go get our CDLs, get some formal training.
Then what?
Then it's after the class, it's the holidays with the child up in Massachusetts. So we probably won't make it back. I mean, we'll still come back to the East Coast to visit her, but the East Coast is not designed for big rigs, so we'll probably have to drop it and get the little smart car and drive around and visit. But this will allow us to have her come visit us and stay with us.
So how are you going to migrate into your full timing? How's that going to happen?
That'll probably be the beginning of the year. Once we get the trailer, let's fill the trailer up, put the house on the market, and off we go.
Come in March. That's what the real estate agent recommends. Put
Yep.
it up for sale in March.
What are you looking forward to?
Just traveling and seeing America. So we haven't figured out yet first place we're going to go, because we still need to get a bed on the truck. But I want to get back out to the summertime. I want to get back up to like North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana. Really enjoyed when we went out to Yellowstone a couple years ago. Be able to see a lot more up there. And then in the summertime or wintertime, head back down to Arizona, Grand Canyon. See those areas, kind of follow the weather.
You told me this has been in the plans for a long time.
Yes. Yep. Shortly after we got married, it was like, what are we going to do when we retire? And we always thought it would be great to go get a fifth wheel, motorhome, RV of some type.
Wander around the country.
Wander around the country.
We argued for years about whether we wanted a motorhome or a fifth wheel.
Mm-hmm.
You won.
I wanted the motorhome.
You wanted the motorhome, I wanted the fifth wheel. Fifth wheel seems like more of a home because you don't have the driving cockpit area of the motorhome.
But now that I found out that I could get a real truck to tow them, the guy thing came out.
So yeah, so we're finally being able to. Kids are grown. Sort of like, let's do it while we can still go and enjoy it and do it for many years.
Well, just a while ago, you were mentioning that your banker thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
They had questions when we wanted to go send money out of the country to RVHaulers. Yes. Yeah. Are you sure you know who you're sending this to?
I said, I've heard that story before.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel now that Remington's in the driveway?
It feels real. So, you sit there the whole time, you have your retirement date, this is what you're going to do. You talk about getting the fifth wheel. The truck's coming, but still it's one of those things. And then when it arrives, it's like, wow, it's here. We're really doing this now. So even when I think we purchased it from you back in June, still is one of those things that's like, okay, it'll be coming. But still it's like, okay, it's not here yet.
We got pictures. We got updates.
Pictures. We got updates. But it's still nothing like, okay, it's in my driveway now. I know that this process is now happening. Tomorrow's my last day of work.
Yeah.
So
It's been tested. It got
Yeah.
road tested. We got road tested a long ways from
yeah.
Alberta to Virginia.
40 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Little minor tweaks. We got those fixed up in a couple hours today in the driveway. We're going to turn around, hook the camper up, and we're going to haul it off to Kansas. 20-hour trip.
Yeah.
Day after tomorrow.
So our new life begins tomorrow.
Yes,
yours
when you
is-
retire.
you
When I
retire
retire,
tomorrow?
Your
I
last day of
retire
work.
tomorrow. Go into work, finish up work, and then leave. So
I wish you the best in both your retirements. Wow, this is exciting. Thanks for your trust in me to bring you your Remington.
we appreciate all your hard effort getting it there, getting it painted. So
You
bringing
need
it to
work
us
extra
as-
hard tomorrow because I put $480 worth of fuel in the truck today.
You're good for
Good news
Kansas
is
and
that's
back.
going to take us all the way to Kansas and back again, and still leave us some driving around fuel. We won't have to stop once.
yay.
Well, thanks for sharing your plans with everyone and for letting me bring you your Remington. And thank you for your business.
Thank you.
Absolutely.